This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Sha-na-na-na-na-na. I got to figure out how the whole copyright thing works because I'd love to have music because music is just so uplifting. And anyway, in the meantime, we'll just hear Jen sing little snippets of songs, but we will figure that out. In fact, the long-term vision for this is that we're actually going to be in a studio. So right now we're just starting in my apartment, but eventually long-term, we are going to be in a studio. We are talking about success. And ladies, F it, it's Friday. We are just talking about what we feel like we want to talk about. And, the whole point, first of all, like and subscribe because that's the way that we grow this channel. So I am here. You are here. 6 o'clock every morning. Well, I'm here at 6 o'clock every morning, Central Time. But these videos hang out on YouTube, so you are welcome to watch them after the fact, or you can interact with me on live on the show. There's also opportunities for you to write in every Tuesday. It's Let's Talk About It Tuesday, and that's your chance to write in about a topic or get coached on the air. So higherandheels.com is the website, and the email address is higherandheels@gmail.com. Super easy. So there are tons of ways to contact the show and get your questions answered and interact. This show is all for you. It's, we saw after 2020, and I was reading something this morning, and I didn't pay for the whole article, so I only got a snippet of it. But it said that women coming out of confidence were twice as likely as men to lose their confidence during COVID. Hello. That is the exact reason that we have this show. It's because in the morning is when we need to set our intentions for the day. If we say, you know what, I'm going to be that powerhouse. I'm going to start the day, with gumption. I'm going to, and we become very intentional about our lives. For many, many years, I just woke up and started doing, and I never connected to myself. I didn't connect to my higher power. I didn't connect to my mission. I didn't connect to what I was doing. And what happens when we're just going through life? We leave it to chance, and we can leave it to choice. Meaning we have the choice in what our life looks like, but we have to get intentional about it. It's like setting goals. I mean, we all have goals. Oh, we want to retire by a certain age. I mean, we're high achieving women. We got tons of goals that we're going after. We want to build a business. We want to raise our kids. We want to be a great companion or wife. We want to get married. We want to whatever it is. And it's good to have these wants. But if we truly want to execute, what do? We come up with a project plan. Yeah, we start to become intentional about them. I remember I had a roommate one time, and she said, I'm going to get married. And that's it. And this woman started like power dating. Like every night of the week, she was going on at least one date. Sometimes she'd come home, she was like, I went on 2 dates, terrible, move on. But she was very intentional. I mean, it was funny to observe, to be honest, because it was like, I don't even have that much energy to want to talk to that many people, let alone she's going out and meeting these people. But she knew she wanted to get married. She wanted to have kids. She wanted to do these things in her life. And instead of just saying, okay, universe, I hope that something happens and you bring this person into my life, she started becoming very intentional about her space and was just. And guess what? She married a guy. It's been 10 years now. They're still married. They have 2 beautiful kids. She executed on her dreams. And it's because she became intentional. And that's what we want to do on the show. So I was reading some of these. I think that these statements that we make to ourselves matter. And I would encourage you to start doing these in the morning. In fact, we're gonna start doing these more on the show. We do them a little bit, but we're going to start doing them more because I want to close off the show this way. And I found this, and we're going to say it at the beginning and we're going to say it at the end. Repeat after me. I'm divinely equipped to conquer my challenges, and my potential to succeed in life is infinite. I choose to let go of everything that does not serve me. I didn't give you a whole lot of time to repeat after me, but anyway, we're going to say it again. And I am going to give you some time at the end there to say that. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today is letting go of things that don't serve you. And the truth is, the higher you climb, the more people are going to have opinions about you. Let's look at the presidency. Like, you're the president of the United States. I think every kid in some capacity dreams about, I could be president. That's what your teacher tells you. Like, you can do anything you want, Timmy, Jenny, whatever. Like, you could be the president. And you're like, I could be the president. It's this prestigious position. It's elite. It's elite in the sense that, they don't just hand it out to anybody. You got to have millions and millions of people behind you. And they're gonna, look at your life and all the things that you've done. So it's a roadmap to get up to that point. So being president is a thing. Only one person gets that, at least here in the United States, every 4 years. And you're only able to have it twice. So technically, in 8 years, there could be one person as president. That's it. So, but I look back, especially in 2020, because there was this was like the year of divide. Just everything was divided. And we had an election here in the United States. And if you were here, you saw everything that was going on and how much people were on one side or the other. And people could take one situation and have two very different perspectives. And yet the president or the candidate is sitting there and has to hear these things about them that may or may not be true. They could just be opinions. There is such thing as a difference between fact and opinion. And even when something is fact, we need to dig deeper and say, okay, well, why might that person have done something? Because as leaders, we have to make decisions. Is there a universal right thing to do? I don't know. It's up to you to make that determination. And your rationale might not be somebody else's rationale, but you have to stand behind that decision. And it can be hard. I will tell you, it can be hard to listen to people when they're tearing you down. I've had this recently, and you know what? It didn't feel good. And I was talking to my mom. I don't think it was yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. My days are a little bit of a blur. It was either yesterday or the day before. And she said, Jen, it doesn't matter if you're the president or if you're the priest. People are going to find things about you to tear you down. They're going to disagree with you in some capacity. And, I had really thought through this situation. This person is out there on social media, tearing me down, saying things that I've never heard about myself. Like, I've been called a lot of things like aunt or, boss, manager, whatever, employee, daughter, whatever. But I've never been called some of these things. And so reading these words and thinking, oh my gosh, somebody wrote that about me. And it is really stuck in my head. And I want to be completely honest and transparent about what this has done inside of me, because the reason why we're talking about this today is because I want every single one of you to be successful. And guess what? When these things crop up in your life, when these haters, when these trolls, when these people and not everyone is a troll, but there are trolls out there on social media that are just there to rip you down. They exist. And when we let them occupy space in our brain, then we do not allow for other things to flourish. There's only so much space that you have around you. There's only so much energy. And that's why it's so important for you. We talk about surrounding yourself by the people that are going to uplift you. Surround yourself by people that have done it. Surround yourself that people believe in you. Surround yourself because otherwise you may have negative energy. You may have, people that are telling you, you can't do this. I've had those people and I'm like, what? Are you, And if you hear it enough, if people are telling you, you can't, then you might tell yourself, yeah, you know what? I can't. But if you've got a whole bunch of people around you going, yeah, you can do this. You can do this. You're like, I could do this. And you may just be crawling on the floor, like without energy. You're like, but I could do this. That's why people are there for marathon runners and all different kinds of runners at the end of the race going, you can do it. You don't think that they're tired at the end of running 100 miles or at the end of running 26.2 miles or whatever it is. You don't think that they're like, oh, this is, I've tapped my tank out. But how do they get through? There are people there, there's their loved ones going, we love you. So surround yourself by the people that are going to say, we love you, we uplift you, we believe in you. And all of these other people, guess what? We need to let it go. And it's so much easier said than done. Oh, just let it go. Just let it go. I'm sitting here 6 a.m. every single morning, my time, which means I'm waking up at 4:45 and I'm coming on live and we're talking about mindset. And there are things with me every single day that I need to look at. So this isn't a one and done. You need to continue to look at your life and assess these things because they all of a sudden you can just be cruising, like I'm feeling good up here. And then boom, something smacks you. Someone puts something out there. Something comes along that you didn't expect, whatever that may be. And we have to be prepared for it. And that was the case with me. This person came into my life and left with a huge explosion and has been completely nasty. And I'm not just saying let things go. Like if somebody is harassing you or there's some legal, fractions that are going on or whatever. I mean, because there could very well be some things that you need to follow up on. If you're being harassed at work, maybe you need to engage HR. If someone is slamming you on the internet and it impacts your business, then you may need to contact a lawyer and have that shut down. You may need to have somebody blocked. I'm not saying just ignore all of these things, but the truth is, and I thought about how much mind space I put into this person, like how could they call these things about me? And I went back and I looked at text messages and emails, and I even went back and listened to some of our recordings, and I just don't see it. I just don't buy into what this person is saying. And the truth is, hurt people. And this person very well may have other things going on. In fact, there were a lot of things about this person's personality that I thought, okay, there is something deeper. And it could be, that there's an imbalance. I don't know. You never know what someone's going through. And when they are going through that fire, guess what? Their actions are red. Yeah. Yeah, ladies. When people are in the moment, in the heat of the moment, they say things, they do things. I had a podcast last week that I released, and it's angry makes you ugly. Because when you're angry, yeah, you're like, yeah, oh, you're so ugly. You're so boo. You're so boo. And you just start to slam people. We don't do that when we're in a good state of mind. We do that maybe when we're jealous or we're angry or we want, when there's this feeling of lack in our life. We want what somebody else has. Well, and this, how many of us have had those friends, and maybe that friend is you, and you're like, you're my best friend, you're my best friend. And then you two have a disagreement and you're like, that stupid bleep, right? Yeah, she's so ugly. I don't even think she's that pretty anyhow, right? Like, I mean, that's a true conversation. And why are you saying that? That person was amazing. And it could be your spouse, it could be your boyfriend, it could be your whomever. We get into these things and we say things about them when we're heated that we wouldn't have said otherwise. We talked about this a little bit on the show. I think it was yesterday. But when people start to get angry, they come out. But how do you deal with that when you're on the receiving end? Well, a few things. Again, I'm not saying if somebody is truly harassing you that you don't need to take follow-up action, because none of us deserve to be harassed. And if it impacts your business, if it impacts your your mental health, if whatever that may be, there may be situations where you need to follow up. But how do we deal with just these trolls, these haters, these, you're a leader, lady. Like literally not everybody is going to like you. It's just fact. Think about that boss that you had, or that CEO that you were like, oh yeah, that guy's kind of an idiot. Yeah, that girl's kind of like a moron. And you just say these things and you never know until you're in their shoes. And guess what? You're in their shoes. So how are you going to deal with it? Well, okay. So first and foremost, and we already said this, hurt people hurt people. There's nobody I know that's like peaceful and happy. Like, did you see Mother Teresa out there? I know this was pre-internet, but could you imagine if Mother Teresa had the internet, if she'd be out there tweeting like, oh, this guy's a jerk? Oh, Mother Teresa wouldn't do it because she's full of self-love. What would she do? WWMTD. What would Mother Teresa do? She would pray for that person. She would maybe find resources for that person. She would say, okay, come back to me when you're ready, or whatever. She would just move on. Mother Teresa isn't out there slamming people. She's mastered how do you just let this go? Because she's smart enough to know that if she thinks about all of these people and they take the space up, well, that's Ginny and Johnny and David and Benny and Latanya and Latoya and whatever, and you've got all these, well, then that consumes everything. Then she doesn't have any space to go be the awesome Mother Teresa that she's supposed to be. So there's absolutely no way that we can put all these trolls, all these haters, all these opinions, put them in our mind and think about them. Think about all these amazing actors and actresses. They can't even go outside of their house. And maybe they're wearing something and it looks, I don't know, just, they're a little grungy. Grunge is coming back in style. All of a sudden, the tabloids are like, oh, let's say it's me. Oh, Jen's walking out of her house. She must be going through a relapse because she's looking like trash. I know grunge is in, but boy, Jen looked like trash. And you're like, what? I thought I looked cute. Like, what? I just wanted to be comfortable. Can you just leave me alone? That's exactly what the stars deal with. And the truth is, nobody looks at me and is like, you look like, well, maybe there's a few. There was this one hater that I was dealing with, and she's got a lot of things to say about me. So maybe that, but the truth is, the higher you climb, the more you have to deal with this. And we've talked about this on the show before, but I want you to be successful. And these things are keeping you from your success. I spent hours in my mind noodling on the situation, going back through and reading texts and reading this and listening to our voice memos. And guess what I could have been doing with that time? Being productive. Being productive in a way that is going to help enhance the mission that I'm on, which is to help elevate women, which is to help reconnect them to their most powerful selves. So I have to learn to let it go. And we have to realize that. So yes, hurt people, and people have opinions and you don't know where they stem from. So maybe somebody grew up in an abusive home, or maybe somebody grew up in, being neglected, or maybe somebody, and you don't know what's happening in their life, their father, their mother, their family members, their something. And that has created a belief system. We talked about limiting beliefs yesterday, and what limiting beliefs are you holding on to? And there could be a belief system that these people have that are holding them back. And you have to realize that your opinion, your belief system is going to be completely different than other people. Even married couples do this. You are not going to find, I would think that married couples or people in a relationship are, fairly similar, but it doesn't mean that they're always, not always. Because they grew up different. They maybe had different friends. They went to different colleges. They grew up in different parts of town. They had different cultures, whatever it may be. We're all individual humans. There is no you. I'm the only Jen Sugarmeyer, like literally the only one. So hurt people. You don't know people's history and what they're bringing to the table. And they're just opinions. We don't have to take on opinions. Opinions don't even matter in court. They're just opinions. Now, again, we could show that your opinion has created defamation of character and I've lost business because of your opinion and all of these things. But the courts look at facts. So are these facts? And okay, maybe you didn't do something right. Okay, how do you learn and do better from it the next time? Maybe you look at the situation and you say, I truly could have done better. So we need to learn to let go. Let go of the situation, let go of the people. Say, you know what? I'm on a much bigger mission, and this one person, I will not allow you to take over my brain. I talk about this in this book, I wrote a book on boundaries. We're going to talk a lot about boundaries here on the show. It's called Defining Your Boundaries. It's out on Audible. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. And I talk about how we need to have a boundary within ourselves and say, you know what? You're not going to steal my joy. And that is one of my core boundaries. And guess what? It cropped up and it happened. It did, because I was like I wasn't in a state of, I don't know, how do I say this? I wasn't crying, I wasn't miserable, but I was like, "Man, how did this happen?" And I allowed it to take a lot of space in my brain. And you know what? I took that space away from amazing women like you, which is where I'd want to be spending my time. So where do you want to spend your time? Focus there. All right, we're going to say this together because ladies, I want you to be so successful. And so repeat after me. I'm going to give you some time. I am divinely equipped to conquer my challenges. I'm divinely equipped to conquer my challenges. And my potential to succeed is infinite. And my potential to succeed is infinite. I choose to let go of everything that does not serve me. I choose to let go of everything that does not serve me. You like that? All right, ladies, hold that. Let go of everything that does not serve you and continue on your mission, because that's truly what's important. These trolls, these opinions, these people that don't like you, they don't matter. So we got to let it go. All right, ladies, have a beautiful weekend. I will see you on Monday, and it will be 6 a.m. It is actually Memorial Day, but my plan is to be here with you 6 a.m. Central Time. And I'm coming up. I want the world to know I'm gonna let it show. Mm, mm, mm.